You run a nice restaurant, a really nice fine dining experience you can be proud of. In fact, your place is so popular that your bar is packed and people line up to get in and make reservations weeks in advance. And money's not bad. The only ways you could make more money are if you added more space, raised your prices, or got more people in each night. They'd never tell you, but some of the patrons in line would really prefer the people inside to eat and pay and make room for the people waiting outside for a table. Still, they appreciate how no one ever rushes them out when they're finishing their meal. Or maybe your place is a more humble cafe with a really busy breakfast and lunch with a decent dinner crowd. Your servers work their aprons off for you. Even so, it could take them 5 or 10 minutes to get back to the table where they just left off a check to pick up their credit card, run it back to the POS, print the receipt, and take it back to the guest who has to work the math to add in a tip. And the longer the guests have to wait, the less inclined they are to tip well. And if they can leave as soon as they want to, you might get a few more table turns each night. But is this what keeps you up at night? Or is it what you've been seeing on the news all year about businesses that have had their POS systems hacked by cyber criminals who steal credit card information and sell it to other criminals who use the card numbers to make fraudulent purchases? Companies like the Home Depot, TJ Maxx, and Target. Even restaurants like P.F. Chang's and small locally owned franchises like Dairy Queen. Listen to what Carla Yarborough, owner of Spanky's Marshside in Brunswick, Georgia, has to say.
I just say, why me? You know, that's what I ask myself. Why me? Why did it happen to me? I just think it's something that people don't expect to happen. What happened in our case was we were hacked into, and the magnetic data, which I didn't even know that we were storing in the hard drive, was taken, and then new cards were made and sold over the internet. I just felt like I had been blindsided by something because I just was not aware that that could even happen to me or to us.
In Carla's case, her bank is avoiding extra risk by holding on to the money from the credit card transactions.
They can take money and hold it because they may be fined by Visa or MasterCard, and if they're fined by Visa or MasterCard, they don't want to have to take the risk of getting their money back from you, so they're going to keep it over there and make sure that those fines are taken care of. It is sad because it's like the small business person is taking the brunt of the whole thing. Because somebody is out there breaking the law, we're having to pay for it one way or the other, if not by closing your doors, by having to pay out big sums of money.
Crazy, right? There isn't a single point of sale system running credit card charges that can't be hacked. But do you know the #1 source of stolen credit card numbers? Bad guys don't even need to hack into your POS to get the card data if they can get one of your employees to skim the credit cards using a handheld pocket card reader as your employee is going to the credit card terminal. Then, the bad guy pays the server or bartender for every card that's skimmed. Later on, when the fraudulent transactions from multiple customers are investigated, it will lead the authorities back to your restaurant, and you have the same problem as Carla from Spanky's. Oh, and one last thing for you to worry about. If your POS has a card reader that just lets you swipe the credit cards, you're not going to be ready for the changeover to the new credit cards with a computer chip inside, or to accept payment from tech-savvy customers who use Apple Pay or Samsung Pay. You do know about the October 2015 deadline for changing your POS equipment, don't you?
The United States is the world capital for credit card fraud, and nearly half of all businesses last year reported being exposed to it.
Massive breaches at stores like Target and Michael's have tens of millions of consumers more concerned than ever. But finally, changes are coming to the way retailers store your information. Fox 5's Elizabeth Watts in studio now with more on these smart cards.
John, Olivia, credit cards with microchips have been around since the 90s in Europe, but the cards are more expensive to produce and millions of stores would have to update their technology to take them here in the U.S. But soon we are going to make that switch, and that initial cost could save billions in losses down the road.
Now that we've given you more information to keep you up at night, Got a minute to talk about the solution to your sleep disorder? With the USMS Pay at the table system, each server has a small credit card terminal in a holster at the hip. The credit card data is never stored on your POS or in the terminal, and your people don't ever even touch the customer's credit cards. Your guests can pay quickly and leave whenever they're ready without ever feeling rushed. Your server presents the check and leaves the small credit card terminal at the table with the total amount already filled in. The customers have pre-calculated options for the tip, either a percentage or a flat amount. Then the customer inserts a credit card or hovers a cell phone over it to use Apple Pay or Samsung Pay, and the transaction is completed. Then the guests can leave the terminal on the table and get up at their leisure. Servers are happy because with the 15, 18, and 20% presets for the tip, they are never stiffed. And the customers enjoy paying the check and getting on with their night. And of course, the restaurant owner is happy because you can get in a few extra table turns in every shift. So if you're looking for the way to increase everyone's satisfaction at your restaurant and how to protect your most valuable asset, your customers, it's time to talk to someone from US Merchant Systems.